Hi, my name is Erika Schreck, and I want to briefly talk about my service that's called a Shamanic Reiki session. What a Shamanic Reiki session includes is a little bit of check-in to see how you're doing physically, how you're feeling emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and get to the core of what might be most helpful for you during this session. Basically, how I can best support you. Then I introduce, just in a very guided way, my suggestion for the focus of your shamanic journey. A shamanic journey is essentially a form of meditation. As a beautiful teacher of mine and very well-known shamanic practitioner says, Sandra Ingerman, she calls a shamanic journey the direct path to revelation. This is about you in a meditative way trusting your own intuition, and in this guided way getting answers, getting thoughts and insights about a situation, about an emotion, about a relationship that you need to know more about and maybe get some clarity on, get some support and comfort with. So what I do in the shamanic journey is, whether you're in person with me or at home, I have you get comfortable, ideally lying down. Again, if you're in person with me, you'll be on a massage table in my office and very comfortable that way. If you're at home, you can also lie down and be comfortable. Put your phone on speaker, or maybe we're even doing a Skype session. So once we get you comfortable and we get you grounded and in your breath, the shamanic journey begins with my repeating the intention of the journey, so basically what you're going to focus on, and generally it can be a span of things, whatever is helpful for you. A shamanic journey will start with some clearing and what we call calling in the helping spirits, and that's done with some rattling. And then we go into the drumming, and I'm going to give you a sample of that in a moment. But the drumming actually puts your brain into what's called a theta state, a meditative state. So the first thing that you do when the drumming begins is you visit what's called your sacred garden. This is an actual place in nature. This can be influenced by an actual place in nature, but it's a place of peace. It's a place of support and comfort for you. And you imagine yourself getting there, going there. And as you are there in the sacred garden, which we talk about when we're checking in and just touch base on that part of it, you then follow the instructions. In some shamanic journeys, you might imagine yourself going somewhere else, but this is all going to be specified when we meet, when we talk, okay, during your session. But as the shamanic journey begins, you hear a very steady drum beat. And I'll give you a sample of that and show you the drum that I tend to use. This is what it sounds like. And a general shamanic journey with me during this type of session is an average about 11 minutes or so. So as that beat continues and you are essentially imagining and experiencing in the shamanic journey the dreamlike state, but it's very lucid, you then know that it's time to close when the drum beat changes. So it usually comes to a slowed beat and has a rhythm similar to something like this. And there's maybe a couple more of those, and then the beat gets faster. And that's when you come on back to the room where you're in, where you eventually will know that it's time to transition to the Reiki part of the session. And that faster beat sounds like this. Okay, so that's the drum beat that accompanies the shamanic journey. And again, we talk very specifically about the purpose of your shamanic journey. But the idea is that you're able to go into that meditative state where you can really trust your insights. And as you're journeying, I am also journeying for you and with you and getting some insights to add. You then have an option in this session that you can either pause right after the journey, and I always ask you this before we officially go into the Reiki part. And I actually ask you if you want to say anything about the journey. Some people like to talk about it right afterwards, and I grab my recorder and we actually record that part of it. And then we go right into the Reiki. And the Reiki session, you'll learn more about a Reiki session in another part of my website, but just very simply is a non-invasive, beautiful way of hands-on or hands hovering or beaming beautiful healing light and love, and working with ridding your body of anything that you might be carrying that might be not so helpful for you on an energetic level. It's very relaxing, and it goes on that cellular level. So people say that there's a sense of peace that they haven't felt ever, or even a very long time. People sleep better. It just brings an amazing sense of calm to your being. So that's a little bit about the shamanic journey with me. And then we follow up and we talk about it right after the session as well. And if you're in person, I'm recording those times when we talk and discuss when you're sharing about your journey. If you are via phone or Skype, it's a recorded session that way. So you always have that record. So I hope this is helpful, and I look forward to journeying with you and helping support you in this way. Take care.